Hello, John Talley here again in the studio on our Friday Live at 3 session. Glad that you could swing by and maybe ask me a few questions. I am tired. That build over there is about worn me out. Should be interesting when I finally finish it up and get it edited and put it live. Should be fun to watch. All right, dadgum. We've already got some questions starting to roll in, so I don't think I have to start off with last week's. Well, we'll let it build up a little bit more. Let me go back to last week and see. Kentucky Shiner had asked me, can you convert front drums to disc on a Honda TRX 300 4 tracks? The answer is yes. There's a couple of different kits out there that would allow you to do that. I believe Super ATV actually makes one for it. All right, Cody had asked me, my solenoid clicks and the starter doesn't make any noise. Occasionally I hear the starter make a weak turn, but nothing consistent, mainly just a click from the solenoid. Does this mean the starter is bad? I replaced the battery and checked the fuse, all is good. Well, if you're heading in the right direction, make sure that your battery is north of 12 volts. And I have seen solenoids where you hear them click, but they're really not making a good connection inside, because what you can't see is the contacts are usually burned, and that may be the case. You may want to try carefully doing a direct connection across the solenoid and making sure your starter's okay. But I caution you there, because if the starter does have a problem and you make that jumper with a suitable size wire, it potentially could, pop that wire or maybe even burn your fingers. So be careful there. All right, yeah, they're starting to pile in over here, so let's go. Critton Off-Road. Hey John, I have an 04 CRF 450R that has an issue on starting when it's hot, but it's fine. Starting when it's hot, but it's fine, and it starts if it's cold. So you're telling me it's harder to start when it is cold? Well, that's probably going to be a valve adjustment, especially if you've gone from the titanium over to maybe stainless valves on the intake. What typically happens is that tightens up. That leaves just a little bit of a gap when it's cold, and it is difficult to start up. But once it gets heated up, that gap expands, and then it runs relatively well. So I would say check your valve lash, and if you need help doing that, give me a little bit more time, and I'll actually be going through the exact same process on the exact same engine that you have. But it'll still be a few weeks. But go in there, check your valve latch, and see if you need to reshim your intakes. I'm betting that's probably what it is. All right, Jesse's asked me, my GSXR 2002 GSXR 1000 loses top speed around 160 to 170. Good gosh, son, I hope you're on a racetrack. Seems to lose power around there. I changed spark plugs and air filter, and I'm wondering what else could cause that. If you're losing that type of, if you're running at that type speed and RPM, that sounds like it's probably starving for fuel. So I wonder if your fuel pump's up to the task of fuel delivery. And it sounds like it's across the board, so I don't think it's an individual injector that's causing this, although you may want to do a plug read to make sure that it's not, or that it is across the board, all 4 cylinders, and not just one cylinder that may be having a fueling issue. But my bet is under a load that your fuel pump may be starting to fail. And if you're really going to run that down and test it, you need to find somebody with a rolling road, and when I say that, somebody with a dynamometer where you could strap it down and run it all the way up and put a load on it, and then do a PSI measurement on the fuel pump and see where it ends up. All right, Mohammed's asking me, hello John, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your work and efforts. God bless you. God bless you as well. Evan, check our feed and make sure it's still rolling in correctly. Oh yeah, there we go. Another one just popped in. Ignis is asking me, hey John, what is your opinion about Honda Rancher models? It's one of my favorite ones. I still own a basically all original 2003 3 model, and they're built extremely well, and they're easy to work on. So, and we did an extensive video series on that particular one. It's an orange one, which is actually my personal one. So if you would reference that one's playlist, whatever you need as far as maintenance, and even I think we even did a top end build on it. I can certainly walk you through all of that. All right, Catchway is asking me, I just recently bought myself a 2013 Scrambler 850 HO XP. Riding along, it suddenly felt like it governed out, and the engine light came on. Started to sputter as I continued to give it throttle, and it sputtered again. Had to idle home. Fluids are good, filter's dirty. Could that be the problem or something different? It sounds to me like it's trying to go into safe mode, and that is usually caused by a couple of different things. Potentially there's a trigger inside of the belt housing, and if that gets tripped, then it goes into safe mode, and that's usually, if it trips that trigger, that's usually saying that, hey, my belt is about to break or it's having an issue. So pull your cover, find that switch that I'm talking about, and see if your belt is in need of replacement. I'm betting that's probably it. Alan is asking me, what could be the problem on a 2002 400EX if you try to start it and it starts pulling itself forward as if it was in gear, but it won't turn on? Am I reading all that? All right, well, that sounds like a couple of different things. To begin with, it sounds like your clutch is out of adjustment and it needs to be set correctly, but I'm a little concerned if you're in neutral, if it's still trying to creep forward. That would indicate that your shift drum is not positioning the shift fork correctly if the shift fork was bent and the gear is not completely disengaging, because in neutral, it shouldn't try to creep forward, especially on that model. So I think you may be having a combination of clutch adjustment and a potential transmission issue with your shift fork, depending on which gear you're talking about. Jama is asking me, my 2008 CBR 1000RR does not start because no spark coming through. Where should I turn to fix that problem? I believe we did a no start condition on an 06 CBR 600RR. If you would reference that video, and I can walk you through a few different things you can check. But it could be a lot of different things. I mean, start with the simplest thing first. You can check your battery voltage, look at your fuses, and then check your side stand, make sure it's not down and that's keeping it from starting. And then it could be the clutch switch, the neutral position switch. I mean, there's a couple of different things you can check, and I'll walk through several of those and how to run them down. So it should translate to over to your 1000. All right, Paul has asked me, seems that I came in on a question that I'm working on now, working on a 2007 Honda Foreman. Same starting question. The starter is strong out of my hand, but when I stick it back in, it does nothing. So you're saying you can test the starter out on the table and it does what it's supposed to do, and you pop it back in and it does nothing? Well, follow the chain further back up on the unit itself and check out your starter solenoid and see if that's what's causing the issue. Other thing is, if you're sure about the solenoid, check the engine ground that goes to the frame. Make sure that isn't loose or corroded. I've seen that cause the problem you're describing before. Vider is asking me, hey, I used your video for a fork repair on my 2002 Goldwing. Thank you very much. Very accurate. Well, you're quite welcome. That's a bit of a bear doing that one, isn't it? Whew. Working with that Goldwing shelf, you have to be patient with that. Paul responded back, solenoid clicks, but still purchased a new one, waiting on the starter though. It had a lot of charred dust and the brush was missing. Any chance you have a video how to test meter of the bike. Well, it sounds like you've diagnosed that one, that your starter's done. I mean, if you're telling me that you can see charred dust and part of that brush is missing. So hopefully that other starter will arrive soon. All right, there's the 600 starting diagnosis. Got that. All right, Figueroa. Oh, you're asking me something in Spanish, and I didn't do well in the Spanish back in high school. So guys, if y'all would translate that one for me, and if you can get shot back over to me on our chat channel, I'll see if I can get it answered. Something about a Honda TRX 400 2006. So if y'all would translate that one and get it back to me. Ryan is asking me, worked on 2 Honda Foreman 450s, both carbs leak from the overflow carb kits pump, new needles cleaned in ultrasonic tank, and help. All right, and you're telling me you did 2 and both of them are having the same problem with the overflow? Well, it's got to be the float bowl, the valve in there that should be shutting off. There must be something in there that you're missing, either a piece of dirt or maybe that shut-off needle needs to be replaced. But, oh, you have new needles. Well, it could be that the actual seats that the needles are going into, I've seen them, especially on the older Hondas, where they actually would get pitted, and it may seal up for a little while, but that pitting's just going to eat into the end of that needle, and then it starts flowing out. So, and I don't think those are replaceable. If memory serves, you may be time to go to a new carburetor, unfortunately. LGig, I'm no good at pronouncing some of these usernames. Hello, John. I have an issue with a 2011 Yamaha Grizzly 700. When I hit more than 70 kilometers per hour, it starts to lose power and doesn't respond to throttle until I speed climb to about 60. What could that be? Well, it sounds like you're having the same kind of issues we were just discussing a little while ago with that Gixxer 1000. It sounds like you may be starving for fuel. I mean, because 60 kilometers an hour, what's that, 45 miles per hour? So it's well within the capabilities of what that machine should be able to top out at. I would start looking at my my fuel system, and also make very, very sure that your air cleaner is your filter is clean. Make sure it's good to go. It's going to be one of those two, though. It's either going to be your air or your fuel, or it could be both. So start with some basics and make sure she's up to snuff. Yep, and I think you've got it. Maybe it's not enough fuel. I think that's going to be the problem. And if you could do a fuel pressure test on the tank, I believe the fuel pump is in the tank on that one. So you just need to put an inline tester and see if she's responding to the correct PSI under a load, and that's going to be the real trick, is trying to recreate those conditions with that piece of test equipment on there. Another one in Spanish. We're going to have to translate that for me, guys. Glenn's asking me, hey, John, it's me again. Welcome back. Waiting on the coolant flush vid on the 420 Rancher. I've been enjoying your latest videos on that machine. We are making progress, but this one decided it would get back in line, and we're actually going to be going back to the 420 probably in about 2 more weeks, because I'm almost through with this one. And we're going to be doing a top-end build, and part of that is going to be, flushing out the system and then refilling it. So I will get to it eventually. All right. You're very welcome. That is what we're here for. All right, 84 Corolla is asking me, my 2003 CR85 needs a shock rebuild, and there seems to be no kits out for it. What shock parts, special tools will I need to do a full rebuild? I've never opened up one for a CR85, but you may want to consider going with just a new unit from Öhlins. I mean, they make great suspension components, and that may end up being cheaper just buying a new unit ready to go than opening up yours with the special tools that are going to be required, rebuilding it, and then recharging it. You may just want to look at an aftermarket replacement for it, if not OEM. I'm sure that we still carry something in the 2003 range. Karen, your site is awesome. Well, thank you. We do try, no doubt. All right, Dizzy is asking me, what should I soak my Kawasaki Mojave 250 air filter in? I'm not very intelligent when it comes to this stuff. Haha, it's a 1987 model. I just got a new filter for it. Well, a couple of questions, because I'm not sure if that is a paper or a foam type air filter. If it's a foam type air filter, K&N or PJ1 actually makes a great foam filter cleaner, but also make sure you order the foam filter oil so you can re-oil it when you're done. And we've done several videos about how to clean those up and then re-oil them. If it is a paper one by chance, there is no cleaning it. You just have to replace it. And I know on just about all of the Kawasaki, the original mules, they all had paper filters, so you just have to get a new one. But once you determine which one it is, you either clean it, oil it, or just replace it. All right, Pedro's asking me, hey John, do you know where I can buy a lithium battery for a Raptor 250 year 2012? One of my favorite machines. My son actually had one, of course, before he went to his 450R. And I believe that we carry them. So just check our site and pick out which one you want to go with. And I believe that is a 7 amp hour battery that goes in there. So we should have that one. Won't be a problem. Just make sure if you're going to go with lithium to use the correct type charger. You can't just throw a regular conventional charger on a lithium type, because they will require a certain charging rate or procedure, and if you just throw a regular conventional one on there, it's going to burn it up. And do a quick video search for lithium battery failures. It's not something you want to have happen in your garage. Marco, can a rich mixture damage the engine in any way? Black smoke on red line, RPMs only, thanks. I would rather have a rich engine than a lean engine. A lean engine is going to overheat and you'll end up holding a piston or burning your rings. But on the flip side, a rich mixture is going to wash down your cylinders. Instead of having oil lubricating up in there, it's got raw gasoline, and that's going to make your rings wear quicker as well, and it's going to break down or wear into your cylinder walls. So the trick is to get it in the stoichiometric, or as close as you can to it. But if you're stuck with one or the other, I would rather have a rich running engine than a lean. Mario's asking me, hello John, my 1984 KLT 200, going back a few years, it will run but very poor. I cleaned the carburetor and it still spits stuff out of the air filter. It killed itself, made a clank noise, and smoke came out of the carb. Wow. I would really be curious if your timing is correct, because it sounds like it's trying to ignite the mixture back up into the carb. So I wonder if the timing's off somehow or another. And especially when that old, it may have jumped a tooth. So it may be time to open it up, potentially replace that timing chain in the guide and the tensioner as well. Ryan came back. Thanks, I did replace the floats along with the Honda Part 6. The seat is not replaceable. And no float adjustment. Thanks again. Love the vids. Well, I hate it when that happens. I wish all of them had replaceable seats, but that's just not the case. So just have to order another one. Vidar is asking me, my fork really needed a repair. When I opened it up, the oil was black and shining like it was particles of the bushings, probably was. Without Partzilla Cruiser Man and Memphis Mike, my hobby as a growing owner would be a very expensive hobby. Thank you very much, and good luck in the future. Well, you're quite welcome. And anything we can do to guide you along rebuilding those or replacing the oil in those forks, let us know. All right, and Andrus said, I saw your videos of Polaris Sportsman. Thanks for your help. They solved many doubts. Well, once again, that is what we're here for, so it's not a problem at all. Man, a little bit slow today. Weather's getting good, and I guess everybody's out there playing with their machines. Are you telling me that we fixed everything? Well, not all of us. Oh, Luke, okay, we got another one from Lucas. Lucas, hello, I really enjoy your content. I do have a question about a Grizzly 700. What could cause to hit rev limiter earlier than I push the throttle to the maximum until it bottoms out, and top speed is 54? Okay, potentially. Here's what could be going on. If your sheaves are not engaging fully or going through their entire range of movement, that is effectively reducing your gear ratio. So the engine's going to be hitting max RPMs, but the belt is not traveling out far enough and far enough in on this, in between the input and the output sheaves, that's going to let the machine get to its full RPM. So I would think open up your casing for your CVT system and take a peek. I'm betting that it needs some attention. Maybe needs to be pulled apart, re-greased, and then put back together. Maybe replace a few parts along the way. And I'm absolutely certain that we did that exact procedure on our Grizzly 700. So if you would reference that playlist, and I can walk you through how to do that. All right, guys. What else do we have going on here today? Don't tell me you're going to go this easy on me and I'll be able to leave early. I was thinking about heading to the coast, so I might get to duck out 10 minutes early. Just don't tell my boss. She may get upset about that. Well, guys, it's 3:22. I have caught up with you for the first time ever answering questions, so I guess we will call it a day, and I'm going to change shirts and get out of here. Well, we just want to say thanks for swinging by, asking a few questions, and shopping here with us at Partzilla. Everybody have a great weekend, another good week, and we will hopefully see you next Friday at 3. God bless.